Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2. And how am I going to name this episode? After all, I do have to put a title for every video, and I must say I don't know why I remembered him today, but when I was thinking about what's the next topic I would like to talk is I'm really a motivated guy, and in the first episode I was talking about Andrew Tate, and he is in many motivational videos, even though some people do see him as controversial or even misogynist or threat to people, but he is in some way motivational. He did came from nothing to everything. So, and I really like this motivational story. So, uh, I searched in my head who is also very motivating, but on a uh, different size, not size, maybe on a different, in a different way. That would be the right word, right? And I found a person that I'm not going to say that I do idealize him. I'm too old to idealize anyone, but someone that I do see as very motivational, someone I can learn from him, someone that has achieved a lot and is maybe not even respected enough. And a few years ago, I found on YouTube a guy called SAYGIN YALCIN. Uh, Many people heard about him, but if you just look at how successful he is, how much of a difference he made in people's life, in his life, in his family's life, in his friends' life. He is not even mentioned enough. He's not respected enough, and he's so smart. He's so well behaved. He carries himself very nice, and he's somehow he's not very popular on TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is on social media, even though he is he has so much to offer to everyone. Once again, for those who didn't hear SAYGIN Yalcin, today we're going to talk about SAYGIN Yalcin. Uh, just let me clear at the beginning, this is not a paid promotion. Nobody told me to talk about him, and nobody ever will. I choose the topics, and this is a little bit different guy than the first one, but in terms of being successful, he's at least that much, if not even more successful. So SAYGIN Yalcin, as you see by name and surname, he's a from Turkish descent. His parents were from Turkey, as this is the new name of Turkey. If you didn't know, yeah, Turkey changed their name into Turkey. Hopefully I have pronounced well. If someone is from Turkey, please put in the comments whether I have pronounced it well. And his parents were from Germany, and they came from Turkey, and they came to Germany, Bremen. So he was a young boy living in Germany. They were not, let's say, living well, at least not on the upper side. They were quite, I'm not going to say poor, but they didn't have much. And it was a hard life for his parents, obviously, and he didn't have he didn't have a childhood full of luxury, money, doors open as he has today. But and he is one more example as a guy or a person that came from nothing to everything. And the story goes like this. So he has a sister that is very ill, or was very ill. She had a lot of epileptic seizures, so many problems, and it was on the border whether she's going to survive, whether what kind of quality of life is she going to have, and that definitely affected his family and himself as well. Even though he was a young boy, he was of course in a contact every day with his sister, and it was really hard for him to watch his sister suffer every single day. And my little kitties coming inside. Kasi pisou sobo. Iya. Tipo se tati pomaga também. Molly auto, yeah. Tako. I'm speaking in a Slovenian language. If you don't understand what I'm saying, my kid is saying that she has a blue little car. Yeah, and she's also waving. She's much better in front of camera than me, I guess. So, and he was having a quite difficult childhood. And as a young boy, he immediately decided that he is going to help his sister. I'm just going to close the door. Čakaj, pađo, makni prstke. Makni prstke. That he is going to change her life. He was really determined that he has to help her, that something has to be done. But of course he was not in a position. He was just a young boy and his parents were far from being rich. And even though if they would reach, they didn't even had the right diagnosis. They didn't even knew what exactly was going wrong with her health. So, it was almost a mission impossible, or it actually was. So, he was very motivated by this situation in their family. He wanted to push his family up financially and in every other way. And the priority was, of course, his sister. So he was a very driven little guy, little boy, and he managed to, he had a laser vision of what he wants to achieve. And his story from this, even though it was a weird beginning, but his story gets even more weird. He was somehow convinced that if he becomes a doctor, that he's going to have a lot of money, so he was trying to find out how much does a doctor earn, and he was doing some job. I wanted to cut this story short, but he later found out that he cannot help his sister. He's not going to become a billionaire if he becomes a doctor. So that was really somehow a disappointment for him, because for many years he was sure, I'm going to become a doctor, I'm going this path, and this is going to solve the problem for my family, which is obviously wasn't the case. So he decided this. So he was also DJing, but that didn't, gave him millions also. He went to Mexico to school, to America. He was doing a lot of things. At the end of the day, he found out that, if you want to be a millionaire and help your sister, you have to, go into the business. I'm trying to cut this story short because it is already going to be a long story, but if you go into the details of his life, I would suggest you go to Google and read it yourself, because I could talk 1 hour about it or even more, and it has no, you don't want to listen to me 1 hour, so check it yourself. So after he finds out that he's going to that he cannot provide his sister a better life if he becomes a doctor, DJ, or whatever else he had in his mind. He was also training some sport, but that also didn't end well. So he went into a business. Business wasn't easy for him at the beginning, but let me put it this way. I'm gonna cut it short intentionally, just so you can see the background, as I told you just, and you can see the results. So it's mission impossible. A 10-year-old boy in a quite poor family in Germany of Turkish descent, in other country, with very ill sister, and huge goal to help her, even though he has no clue how. Today he is I think he's in 40s, 42, 42, 4. Let me see how old he is. No, that's even more impressive. He was born on April 25th, 1984, so he is actually 38 years old, just 38 years old. So, today he is a multi-billionaire. He managed to, to create from scratch a business that was later sold to Amazon. He then created another business that is now the fastest growing business in Emirates. Today he's living in Dubai in Emirates. And besides that, he helped his sister tremendously. He actually organized a group of doctors all over the world in order to put them together to find out the diagnose. After they find the diagnose, he was investing a lot of money into trying to find something that will cure his sister. So from a 10-year-old boy in a very troubled position to a billionaire that managed to find a diagnose, and not just diagnose, also a cure for his sister. Even though she had a diagnose that she had a medical situation that for years were saying that it's impossible to solve, and nobody in the world could solve that. Well, after a few years of investing money, getting people from all over the world, he and the team managed to help his sister. Today his sister is seizure free. She's in much better position. She's not 100% yet healthy, but she's in much better position. Far, far, far away from what it was. And as I said, seizure free. And she used to have huge amount of seizures every day. And for those who have seen epileptic seizure, it's just brutal to watch. And especially knowing that it's your sister. So I just want to show you the difference from before and later. And why am I saying all this? It is a motivation. It is truly a story. And don't forget, he became a billionaire from that position. He's one of the most successful, how are they saying that? Not talker, but he's having conferences about success and speaker. Yes, he's one of the most popular speaker in the world also. He's going around the world. He's meeting all the celebrities, the top people of the world, and they listen to him. He's that smart. Once he talks, everybody listen. He's very calculated, strategic, but well behaved. Very, a gentleman way of behavior. He knows how to carry himself very nice. Not many billionaires are like him, and he would have every reason to behave differently, but he doesn't. He's very down to earth. He's helping people a lot. So he's a special guy in every segment. Even though I sound some fanboy here, but it's the truth. I cannot say differently. That's how it is. So, and why wouldn't we say good things about people who does good things? So, nothing but respect to what he does and not what he said, but what he does. Everybody can say a lot of things, but he backs it up. That's a totally different story. And on the level he is, that's something special. So he became a billionaire, saved his sister. Today he has numerous of companies all over the world. He's making billions of dollars, and he's very, very influential. He's living a lifestyle you can only, dream. And you know, I watched that he gave. I'm not sure if it was a Bentley, but I think it was a Bentley to one of a Kardashian sisters. I think the youngest one, but I'm not sure. I'm not into that Kardashian world, but that's how rich and well known he is. It was a birthday present, I think, for 21st or 18th, or something like that, maybe 20th birthday, and he's just a person that it seems like he doesn't care about the money that much. He just wants to make the world better. For me, he's in some way as Elon Musk, but in a different way. Uh, and what is even more, so he achieved really a lot in his life. But what is even more, uh, I'm not going to say weird, but props to him. He used to be, I'm not going to say fat, but he had some kilos or pounds too much, overweight, as they would say. Fat would be an ugly word, but that's how it used to be said. So he was overweight, and he accomplished everything in life what he wanted. He had everything he wanted, but that was one thing: he was living not healthy enough, and he wasn't sleeping enough. Actually, he was sleeping very, very little, sometimes nothing, sometimes 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. So because of all of his businesses obligations, have in mind that he is doing huge projects, and he is a guy that is building amazing things all over the world. At the same time, he has extremely big projects, so his health took a toll because of it. And one day he decides that he is going to change the way he is eating, sleeping, the way he sees himself, the way he's, thinking about his health. He was giving all the time, but wasn't thinking about himself. So he decided he's going to join the fitness and that he's going to change his body. And that's okay. Many people does it. Millions of people are in the fitness, but not many people get, I think, men's health. Let me just check. Yes, not many people get from, as I said, fat or overweight to men's health cover model. He was on the cover because of his body transformation, because he became from an overweight to amazing body in very short time. I think he went into gym 365 days in a row. That's how determined he is. It just goes to show that once he set a goal, nothing is going to stop. So it's very motivational. Even though his goals are, almost impossible, to save someone that cannot be saved, don't even know diagnose, have no money, become a billionaire. He's helping so many people. He's doing all the amazing stuff, and then at the end, from overweight to perfect body. So I just wanted to in all this negative hate, sad, war, terrible news we hear all the time, I wanted to give you one especially uplifting, motivating story that was, even though it seems impossible, but you can make impossible a reality. But of course, you have to be smart, you have to endure all the problems, you should never give up, you have to do things smart but continuously. And he did all that, and of course the results speak for themselves. So check in the Google, SAYGIN YALCIN. it is Saygin, and Yalcin, it is Yalcin. Maybe if you type in Saygin billionaire, it will give him. There are not many Saygin billionaires around, so it's really amazing to see this kind of story, and it should inspire you or motivate you to achieve your goals. I mean, your goals can seem impossible, or you think you're too old, or you're not that smart, you're not that strong, you don't have connections, you don't have money. Those are just excuses. People without money, without connections, without even good health, without parents. There are so many amazing life stories around. So these are the stories you should hear, and you should, somehow follow or implement it in your life. So this would be for today's episode, because the first one was a motivating but also controversial, and for the second guy, Saygin Yalcin, there is not a single one controversial thing. That he's not doing drugs. I'm not Andrew think he's also not doing, but I just am saying that he's not doing drugs. He's not drinking. He's not going out with bad women. He's not behaving terrible. He's not in prison. He's not controversial. He's a calm gentleman, smart guy who is changing the world on a big level. He's achieving things that are one out of a billion. So congrats to Saygin. It's great to have these people around, and he helped a lot of people. So hopefully there will be many more. There are a lot of people who need help. So if you don't want to be successful for yourself, that's okay. You still have parents, you still have kids, or whoever you have. So grind. Don't complain, just grind. So that will be all for today. Thank you for being with me. Subscribe to our channel, and there will be a lot of interesting people, interesting subjects to talk about. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. By the way, it really feels weird to be on camera. But hey, I'll get used to it. I'll see you in the next one.